County Podcast. If you're ready to grow, then let's go. This is the Lincoln County Podcast. Hey, yo, Matt, let's start the show.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to all the sponsors of the Lincoln County Podcast. Hozak Plumbing, Simply Worth, Medical Weight Loss, Town & Country Insurance, The Guild, and Boyer Academy. Thank you guys for your sponsorship, and thank you for making the Lincoln County Podcast possible. Just want to say thank you to everyone at Boyer Academy. Without the success of Boyer Academy and all the families there, I wouldn't have met all these wonderful people in and around Lincoln County that have came on the Lincoln County Podcast. So without you guys, none of this would really be possible. Having this has been a dream come true to sit down and talk to so many business owners and share my experiences at Boyer Academy, their experiences and successes with their business with everyone in and around our local area. Hey guys, welcome back to Lincoln County Podcast. I am, again, as always, super happy to have you guys here today. Awesome opportunity to sit down with someone in our community that, you know, again, is not a business owner, but is someone that's making a difference and doing things. And that's what this is all about. So when you guys are out and about, you see something cool, you hear somebody doing some neat things, reach out. I'd love to talk to them. It does not have to be a business owner. It's about Lincoln County and great things going on in Lincoln County. So I'm going to dive right in today, turn this over to my guest to introduce himself, and we're going to get rocking and get you guys another amazing episode.
Good morning. I'm David Norman. I'm an alderman in the city of Troy. I guess I can just go through the list. I'm also the vice president for the Troy, Missouri Lions Club, the vice president for the Lincoln County Habitat for Humanity. I guess you could say a co-founder for the Troy Running Club, and we'll explain that later.
Yeah.
And the founder of the Troy Trash Destroyers.
Yes, sir.
Quite a list.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was going to try to write a list this morning, make sure we touched on everything because you're always busy.
Always. Oh, and then I, black belt at Boyer Academy after 7 years. Yeah, so still pursuing.
Man, it's been that long, huh?
Come January.
It's wild. It's with the adults I don't notice as much. With the kids, I do because they're aged up.
Oh my gosh, everybody's driving now. When I started,
yeah,
it's
when the first one that tripped me out on driving was Sydney. It was weird to watch Sydney leave class and drive. Madeline, not as much. And then when we had the Troy school where it's at now, when Lelia, she pulled up one night, or she left one night and got in the car to leave, and I was like, wow, they're all getting older now. Bella, Kendall, like all of them are driving. Madeline brings Emily up there, so it's really I've kind of like the.
You're like a
I'm
father.
over it. Yeah, I'm like over it now. But the first one was Sydney, like hopping in a car to leave one night. I was like, wow, they're all like growing up. That was years ago.
Riley, when she,
Riley was another big one when she backed in or pulled in, parked the one night. I was like, oh wow, you guys are. She'll be back. I think 2 weeks. She had something happen, had to go back to school. So how long have you been in Troy?
I grew up there. My mother married my stepfather when I was 4, so I've been in Lincoln County pretty much all my life, from kindergarten up to graduating and moving away in the service.
So what year was that you...
How long ago was it? Graduated or moved into Troy?
Moved in Troy.
72.
72?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I talked to Tony Mooney one time about it, and he was telling me about the traffic light at Lincoln, north and south Lincoln.
It was a flashing one.
Yeah, he told me that one time. That's why I was just curious if you'd been... I didn't remember what year that was.
Oh, man, we can go way back.
It's pretty... It's got to be... So when I was a kid, my dad grew up on St. Charles Rock Road in Breckenridge Hills. And so there's all these photos, all these different things he's got, but not a lot of stuff because they were poor. But every once in a while, but I would hear all the stories. We'd go down the Rock Road, he'd point at different things. Oh, this used to be that. I used to climb under this fence to walk to school. And there's some retro St. Louis pages on Facebook, and they'll share stuff every once in a while of that area from that time period. And I always get excited because it's like I've seen it before because he's explained it. So it's got to be cool to live. Like, I almost wanted to move back to O'Fallon at one point where I grew up just because of how much it's changed to think about what it was when I was a kid. So it's got to be really cool to live in Troy, been here that many years ago, and to see the changes.
And to see it change and to see it still grow as we are today. I guess that's probably what got me into wanting to serve the community as an alderman.
Yeah.
Growing up here, I'm watching the influx of people move into Troy and Lincoln County, and then just trying to make this a better place than what it was when I grew up.
Oh yeah.
That was my intent, and it still is every day that I wake up with the various boards that I serve on, is to make, you know, Lincoln County a better place for the younger generation. So there's, with the influx of people growing out there's so many opportunities with the knowledge that the people are bringing to the county. You know, just
yes,
it's just amazing, and the support that the community has. It's I could go on with that. Well, we can bounce off with the Lincoln County Habitat with our house build on that. Just the outpouring support and the donations that we've had on our house build is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I would say this build's been going really good. I've seen a few things that have popped off that were just amazing. It seems like this one is going. It's amazing to watch how many companies are getting involved in doing stuff. I feel like when I started doing a lot with Boyer Painting, I did it because some people did stuff, but I feel like now everybody is seeing the benefit in a lot of that and jumping on to donate. You know, throw a paint job, throw whatever. Like, I've had other painters reach out to me and say, hey, man, the next time you go into the high school, I want to come help. I'm like, sure, let's do it. Like, I'm not trying to hoard it, but I think the Habitat, like you said, is a great example of that.
Oh, I don't even know where to begin. Well, when I came on board with Habitat in 21 with their Brush with Kindness project that they do in the community, and it's basically outside work on income-based veterans, elderly people that can't, they may need we've done a handicap ramp before. We've done deck repairs, power wash, simple little things like that. I did a project a weekend ago and tore down a shed and replaced the roof on a shed.
Oh, nice.
I went and looked at another project that we have in the works. We're going to probably replace a door and some decking, just little things that people aren't able to do themselves or may not be able to afford. Also with the Habitat, we had a huge support from Lowe's donated.
Really?
And they're going to continue to donate to us. They didn't really know we existed until we went down there. And
wow.
And through several emails and different bosses, and finally the day we showed up, we had interior doors, exterior doors.
Wow.
We had some windows that were donated. They're going to hold.
I bet companies like that have so much stuff that's mismarked, miss this, miss that donating to you guys probably probably does them a favor. And
for not only maybe to use on this house or the next house that we're going to build, but with some Brush with Kindness things, like the exterior door we got donated, we're going to use that on one of our Brush with Kindness projects.
Great.
So if we wouldn't have taken, and then they had no idea that we really existed, St. Charles County Habitat for Humanity would, and they have a resale store, so they would either use it or resell it. So, and we're able to put it to use.
That's awesome.
So it's kind of a win-win for us. I mean, oh man, it's just unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you something I heard on a podcast yesterday. I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about the hurricanes and all this stuff. And the guy said, and I need to look up the stats on it because I'm curious on the stats, but he said the number one most charitable organization in the world is the people of the United States. With the fact that he goes, you never really hear of people from another country flying over here to do anything, but we go everywhere else. People, most of the money that's been dumped into the hurricane stuff was from private citizens. Yes. And like you said, Habitat, that is all people coming together to do that. But like you said, Lowe's didn't even know you guys existed.
Right, until...
Well, I tell people this all the time when they're looking for sponsorships or they're looking for stuff. I literally go blue in the face. You got to go around and tell people, because I run a business. I'm busy. I don't sit and look for those opportunities on Facebook. They find me. People DM me. I tell the teachers all the time, you guys run out of snacks, shoot me a message. I'll make a Costco run. But you got to tell me. So like, you guys could have sat there and been like, oh man, Lowe's won't do nothing for. But you guys reached out to them. They were happy to do it. And I guarantee there's probably a tax break they get. But I'm sure it's a win-win for both parties.
Especially for us. As small as we are, and with the changes that we had in the last couple of years with our vice president and president resigning, and Sarah Thurman and myself taking over the board, herself as the president, and I was elected vice president, and so with a new board and a new direction and a new house that we had to build for our family, we needed a plan. And when I came on board, I came on board during their second house build, and there really wasn't a plan of action. So before we even broke ground, we had a construction meeting. We had contractors come in, union contractors, non-union contractors. We don't discriminate
you just want to get
anybody,
the house for the person.
you know, because it's bigger than any of us. You know what we're doing, and you know, next thing we know, we're breaking ground in September. The foundation went in.
You guys have flown.
We had the house framed in 7 days, and then the roofers came in that following weekend and had the roof on in a day. We have the plumbers. It's been rough.
Well, they knocked it out. They sided it too. It's been sided, right? Not yet. Okay, so it was a roof. They knocked out the roof then. Okay,
so that's coming.
I saw a post, but I didn't see what it was.
I can barely keep up with what all is going on. You know, I mean, we have so much. You know, our group text goes off every day, all day. You know, this and that for various things with the house build and our trivia night coming up. Because we are a nonprofit, and we have to. You know, we do raise money. For our Brush with Kindness projects or to help with the house build and whatnot. Most of these people do have to qualify for a loan for the house. So, but we're building it at well below, you know, any construction cost that you could think of. I mean,
it's insane.
Donations that we
the people are so thankful. When we did the last one with you guys, it was amazing. Like I remember standing on the porch doing something, the lady popped the door open. She was like, "Hey, I just want to say thank." Like she's made a separate like, "Hey, thank you." You know, it was really nice. I'm looking forward to the next one. Now you do that. You have your full-time job. You're a veteran. You've served as an alderman. And I'm not saying this to be negative, but why would you want to be an alderman? Like, because I just see the social media side where everybody, hey, there's a pothole on this street, and they like tag everybody under the sun. Like, what is the purpose for anyone listening that does not understand what an alderman does? Like, what is your drive to do it, and what does an alderman do?
Oh gosh, what does an alderman do? Well, I'll answer that probably in two questions. I'll answer. The second question will be how social media poses us. But the first one, what do? We don't necessarily run the day-to-day business, but we are aware of the day-to-day activities. Our monthly meetings consist of approving any ordinances that may have come along, any budget changes, any payments that are made out. For instance, like with all the repaving of the streets in Troy, you know, you have contracts and stuff that have to be paid, and that's all approved, you know, through the Board of Aldermen. Our yearly, and my most fun part is the budget that we do every June. You know, we hire, fire, authorize pay raises, listen to citizens. You're an alderman 24/7.
Yeah.
I've gone out weekends, you know, after hours, phone calls during the day.
We were painting that one house on Lewis Street, and you come by. You were out checking on something out that day. I remember that because you stopped by to say hi.
Hi, my name is Scott Lutz with Town & Country Insurance. We specialize in personal lines and business insurance. We're at 502 East Cherry Street here in Troy, Missouri. You can also find us online at tci.u.com. We would love to earn your business.
And then, you know, social, and we only make $200 a month, $184.70 after taxes, you know, $50 a week. And so there's, you know, the money is definitely not the interest to run for alderman. It's just the drive to serve the community.
Well, make it a better place.
Exactly. And when I ran 2018, that was about the time, I was getting close to my 30-year mark, or around about 30-year mark, or after running. And I was already putting on a few 5Ks and had the Troy Trash Destroyers group going, you know, and I just came across this ad in the paper, you know, sign, you know, up for alderman, you know, by certain date to run for the election in April. And I was like, well, I ought to give this a chance, you know. I'm already pretty much doing I'm out and about and people know my name, why not just top it off? So I was elected by 5 votes and have run unopposed. This is my 4th term.
Congrats.
To 2026 will be my end of my 4th term, and I haven't quite decided what I want to do then. Well, I keep saying things, but I know I'll change my mind.
Yeah.
There's
2026 a long ways away.
It sure is, but it'll be here before we know it.
Oh, for sure.
But it's been it's been a learning experience. Some of the things that I have seen and heard and been a witness to is just it's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're trying and you have a few others in there trying to make a difference in the community, but there's others that are just there to be that no vote.
Yeah.
It's not. People lose. I think when people get in there, they lose why they're there.
Well, I think that's what happens in politics in general.
Oh yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of stuff that's political these days, and there are people that get into it for the right reasons, but I feel like in the beginning everyone does. And I'm talking like high up politics where, not presidential, but like up the chain.
State
where,
rep or
to where you could
make a bigger difference
yes.
on the local
and I
level.
think most people get in for that reason. And I think a lot of people maybe get caught up in the lifestyle, caught up in money, caught up in whatever.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think humans are inherently bad. But I do think people get into things and then maybe they are there for the wrong reason.
Right, when those backdoor opportunities or backroom deals,
Or just personal vendettas, I'm not going to do this because I don't like that person, or I like this person, so I'm not going to let that go through. I think that'd be very easy for a lot of things to fall into.
Oh, it is. And because you're dealing with people's lives on a daily basis, your decisions. So, I mean, what we're doing is bigger than any of us.
Yeah.
Trying to hire a city administrator, that's bigger than any of us. It's for the city of Troy.
Yeah.
It's not because we don't want this certain person running the city of Troy. It's just that we have grown so much that
it's getting big.
We need another. We need help. Mm-hmm. We need pointed in that direction. So. I can't wait for our new city administrator to start. And there were, oh gosh, we get beat up on social media, in the paper, all these, and I call them keyboard warriors because they're the ones that sit back and complain, but they're not they're not out in the community doing anything.
Yes.
And I'm so involved in the community. You could reach out to me, and I can point you in 3 or 4 different directions if you want to help out in the community,
Well, and I heard a quote the other day, and I think it was Brandon who films up here said that it's the 10,000 rule. No one with 10,000 followers has ever said anything negative on his Facebook. Like, the people that are making a change and doing things are out there doing them. They don't have the time to sit and gripe.
Right.
We've talked at Rotary meetings before where I forgot what it was about even, but we were just laughing about how many of the people just turned their social media off for the weekend because it was just chaos. It was over something really dumb. I can't remember what it was. I just remember all of us were laughing about it when we got in the meeting. We were like, oh man, it was crazy. And it has been years ago. It's those that can't are the ones on there doing it. Just like, there's always an outpouring when we go out and pick up trash. So as you mentioned, you founded the Troy Trash Destroyers. We partner with you, go and do a lot of that. But the amount of people that are like, it's great, or the amount of people that post about trash being out there and then don't
make
do
that
anything.
Difference. Oh, I know. We can go out, and I'm planning on going out probably the 17th and doing it before the holiday, because that's just to keep our community clean. The holidays are coming up. We're better than what's laying around. Or blowing around, and I can post and get close to, oh my gosh, what
did we have on the one? It was ridiculous.
Gosh, 1,000 plus, likes, and the comments were just as half as much. And then I get 10% of that want to come out next time and help, and then when they
don't make it. Well, like we went up and stained that sign. Everybody was complaining about it having a fit, and we ran up and stained it real quick. It took 2 hours of our night.
A couple hours. We had to go out and get stained and come back. And instead of sitting there complaining or
arguing with the people at work,
just get up and do it.
Yeah, I just messaged you. I was like, "Hey,
yeah,
you want?"
let's go out
Yeah,
and
we
do
just
it.
went up and
Yep,
did it real
yep,
quick.
you know.
Well, and it's like so the other day, and I didn't make a post about it. I was really irritated. I almost did. Pumpkin Festival. So many of the vendors left trash. So many people left candy wrappers on the ground. Casey and the kids and I went to church that next morning. It looked terrible. So after church, we grabbed a couple trash bags. The kids walked the street, picked the trash up. I took a leaf blower, cleaned off all the sidewalks. Couldn't do nothing about hay and corn on
Yeah,
the street,
right.
but the city's got machines for that.
Yes, they do.
But I cleaned everything else off. But we just did it real quick and went about our way because I was embarrassed. I was at the event as a vendor. And I walked around my space with my people picking crap up before we left. But as we got up the street, there was quite a mess. And it wasn't everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really anything huge. It took us 30, 40 minutes to
Right.
walk the street real quick. I walked it the leaf blower. It took longer to go home and shower and get all the dust out of my nose from blowing off the sidewalk. But it's really simple just to take action.
yep.
You created the trash destroyers. You guys go out there
man.
all the time and pick up trash.
Yeah, that-
And it does make a difference. You
does.
can tell.
I
We
mean-
noticed from the first time I went with you to one of the last times we went, the amount of trash, it had declined a lot.
It did. I mean, we were up to, when I first took over the adopted highway on 47, we were well over 20 to 25 bags each time we went out. And
You went more frequently.
Oh, more frequently.
Yeah.
Every 4 to 6 weeks, it seemed like.
Yep.
4 or 5 weeks. And now, the last time, I was well under 6 bags.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad.
So
No.
it's well under control. And now MoDOT's ending the Adopt Highway program to where now you could get out only once a year. And I just don't
Yeah,
don't see that
I don't think that's a
program
great
gonna
thing.
last. But I have plenty of bags, and it's not going to officially end until 26. So, I'm going to keep on as long as I can,
Yeah.
just to make that impact. And then
Well, and
after that,
If every
continue.
citizen went out and just took pride, I used to see videos of my old instructor used to tell me about this, and I still do this up the school. And he would talk about the old German ladies in South City in the 60s when he was out there, the 40s, 50s. And they come out and they scrub the stoop and they clean it all off. They took all this pride in the front of their house. A lot of people do that in their house, but it's like, what about our city? What about our town? Like when we walk down the street and I see businesses with trash out front, like we've went out before at the school and pulled weeds and picked stuff up in the plaza, and the landlords do it too. But it's your business, you're there. Why not take a little of that pride? It makes a difference if everybody
so.
did that, and it's great that people like you organize that stuff because it does help motivate people. And I know there are people that see the post, pick up trash, do different things. We just don't hear about it or
Yep.
see it. People do go by that example.
I've had people message me after previous times going out, and after I would make a post, they would message me with the picture. I went out by where I lived and pick up this much
that's
trash,
awesome.
down some gravel road, and so there's people out there that are making a difference, But like you said, if everybody could walk outside their house and walk the length of their yard from
just walk
neighbor
it,
to
yeah.
neighbor, we wouldn't
Yeah.
have to go out and do this,
Nope.
So
Well, it makes a difference, though.
It
but,
does.
but when people want to do that and they go do it, and it's one of those things. Like I've got a post going up soon about consistency, and like, if you make a video, you put it on social media, it gets 2 views, and then 4 weeks later it gets 4. Well, maybe it did impact those 4 people, so keep doing it. So going out, picking it up, whether a big group shows up or not, it still gets done. It still makes a difference. It still sets the tone in the community.
It does. And and as a growing community, to have that picked up, you never know who's wanting to start a business up here or move
Yeah.
a business up here. So, and a lot of people say, well, it doesn't make it. It does to me. 'Cause
Well, it
that's
does
not
make
who
a
we are.
difference to them, though. But it does
I
because
think
when I
so.
had Julie on, Julie Rogers, our economic director, we talked about it, and the stuff that big businesses look for is the smaller things like that when they're moving to a
I
community
would.
like this. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
really interesting the things they look for. They look for small business support. If the
Oh.
small business support, it's really interesting to pick her brain on that. But you do a lot of stuff, and I know this episode will air after it happens. But you've got the veterans
Oh, yes.
run coming up. Now, what
Yeah.
year is that? Is that 7?
Well, this is our 7th year.
Yeah.
My 13th 5K, and then Boyer, Painting Boyer Academy's 12th 5K that you've
Is our 12?
sponsored.
No shit. I thought it was only
and,
7.
well, 7th of Veterans Day, but I
Yeah.
mean, I've done 13 altogether.
Oh, okay.
And you guys came on board for my second one, which
Yeah.
was the Lincoln County Fair Run.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
And then, we did the turkey trot.
Yep, I
during
remember
COVID.
talking about that.
And
Yep.
then, we did Race for the Chase. I did another drug court 5K. And then, this is our 7th Veterans Day 5K. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that one.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. Here's how that came about. So every year, I'm a veteran. I would go up to the courthouse on Veterans Day, and they would have a ceremony. Every year, it would get smaller and smaller. And then it just finally went away. There was more programs at the school to go to, and there wasn't enough people to have it. So I guess it was 2016 or 17, because I had skipped a year. But I was having pretty good luck with my Lincoln County Fair run, and then I was like, well, a fellow veteran that I went to school with, we sat down and talked, and was like, and another running friend of mine, Rachel Laughlin, we sat down and talked about, let's do a Veterans Day run. They're not even doing the ceremony anymore. And the way that it would fall on that year, it fell on Veterans Day, so we had, and I coordinated with the veterans, and they brought the ceremony back. So we had 132 registered runners, and then we had the ceremony right after. So we had, a whole front yard at the courthouse just packed with people. It was, I never seen it that packed before.
Wow.
I'm Stu. I'm the founder and president of the Guild Men's Fellowship. As a first responder, I know firsthand what it's like to pour into your community and lose sight of personal aspirations. And that's why I founded the Guild. The Guild is a nonprofit that offers personal development programs to first responders and veterans since 2019. We offer our services completely free of charge. Peer support, critical incident stress debriefing, our flagship program, Stations Immersion Camp, and one-on-one coaching is accessible by people who apply and are approved through our website. Like all nonprofits, we need people and funding. And one of the ways that we've come up with to solve the funding issue is to take our curriculum and put it into modules that are teachable to your organization or agency. In this way, we can further your mission by putting your investment to work for people who have served. If you're interested in finding more information or applying for our services, or if you're interested in helping by booking us for trainings, keynotes, or consulting, visit our website, guildfellowship.com.
And so then they brought back the ceremony every year, and then we had last year it fell on Veterans Day fell on Saturday, so we had the run on Veterans Day, and this year as a leap year.
That's right. So it was on Saturday last
Yes,
year.
it
Okay,
sure
I
was.
thought so.
I know,
I was worried we were going to miss it this year
No.
because of the tournament we've got.
Right.
And Stacy goes, no, it's Sunday.
it's
I was
Sunday,
like,
yep.
why was I thinking? Because I want to
we
say
had-
last year it conflicted. There was, I don't know. And so
you
it works
had
out
another
great.
tournament last year too, I believe, and you guys.
Yeah, well, the Heartland,
Right.
Heartland is always, which
that
Osborne,
second
you get a
weekend.
lot of shout outs on this podcast because I'm always talking about OMM with the kids. That's his other big tournament. Yeah, but Heartland always falls on the race weekend. So most of the time we come back Saturday
right.
so we can go to it.
on
But I
Sunday.
was going to say, I for some reason thought there was a conflict last year, but that's right. You
And I've
moved
had
it to Saturday for
I know,
veterans.
and I
That's
had a
it.
few messages. Well, it would have worked out the way that it worked out. With the run, and then the runners. By the time we start at 9, by the time we have the award ceremony, we usually done about 10:30ish or so. And then their ceremony was 11:15 or 11:11, because the way the Veterans Day originated was they signed the armistice to in World War I on November 11th at 11 o'clock or 11:11.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so it worked out, and so we're going into our 7th year, and that race, gosh, man, it's a special race to me. Not only being a veteran, but just the amount of money that we have been able to donate. It's a small amount, but the way that the race works. So I kind of learned a few things with the Lincoln County Fair run, with the community. I wasn't one, and I'm still really not one a big one to go out and go knock door to door to get sponsors. You know, and that's when you guys jumped on board, and it was great, just huge. And every year,
I think we've been a long time, and Leland has. For,
yes. The Impact Digital Designs.
Impact Digital. I was just saying, I was forgetting the name of that business he's got. Yeah, I think he's been one of your biggest supporters.
There's a story in that too. So I was never. I always
need to have him on the podcast.
Yes, you do.
I don't know why I haven't thought about Leland. I need to have him on. Maybe great. I'm gonna message him today.
I got his number if you want me to text him. Anyways, I always had a magic number that once I hit that number, everything was paid for, and then after that, everything was donated. So with the sponsors, I never really went out and pursued the banks, or because I that time you always see everybody going out, and we have the trivia night, so I feel like everybody's hit hard anyway. So I just would throw it out there, if you'd like to donate or whatnot. I wasn't going to go out and pound on anybody's door. It just wasn't my style. And
it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Casey had to do it for me with my fights. Casey had to hit up businesses to do it. It does. I don't like to do it either.
It's not my style. I'd rather pay for it myself if it didn't.
I'm the same way.
And I've done that, But at the end, so we've donated over $6,500 to
That's awesome.
our local charities. I should have brought a list, but $2,000 to the honor flights to send the old veterans up to Washington, D.C. The Buddy Bag program, a homeless veteran, we donated some money to
I remember that.
him. And oh my gosh, the Toys for Tots. So I love doing that. Just the going out and shop and knowing that you're going to make a difference in some child's life.
Yeah.
The food pantry, we love raising money for the food pantry because we just know how much it's needed here in the community. I'm very good friends with the people that run the food pantry. Actually, they're my daughter's step-grandparents type thing. So, anyways, Harriet and Jim Zawesti, they do.
I was about to say, yep, that's what I thought.
So we're partnering up again with them this year. We're going to donate some money, and we're trying to raise some. We got a food drive also going with the Troy Lions Club. So.
Yeah, and that's another thing you've recently dove into, because you apparently hate free time. That's a good way to put it.
Oh, yeah.
How's that going? You guys are doing that with the Troy, because there's a Moscow Mills Lions Club, right? And so now you guys are building up the Troy Lions Club, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good one. I love that one. So anyways, with the Troy Lions Club, gosh. So a lady with the, the regional director for the Lions Club came to an alderman meeting about June or July of 22. So they had a meet and greet type thing, and gosh, there was up at the Quiver River conference room, and there was only a couple of us that showed up for that. We signed up, and we really didn't know what to expect. So we rechartered. We had more people interested in or that joined initially than what we have now. For various, I just don't, it's hard to compete with a place like Moscow. They have their own building and whatnot, but we were fortunate enough that the old Troy Lions Club, when they disbanded, Moscow Mills got their food trailer. Well, when we rechartered, we got the trailer, and it was a goal.
You guys have got that ready to go, don't you?
Yeah, we got that ready to go, and we've already been out twice.
Really? Awesome. I knew you'd posted you had it ready, and I didn't remember if you'd been out yet or not.
Yeah, so the first outing was like a little animal swap that the VFW put together. So it was an initial one. I guess they put it together with maybe about a month notice or so. And it weren't a whole lot of vendors, but it was a good way for us to break in our square to take in, the electronic payment type thing, and get the grill fired up, the everything, just to make sure we had all the bugs worked out for our next one. And then our next one was the Pumpkin Festival this past Saturday. And
Oh, were you guys set up there?
Oh, yeah,
I never
it
even
was
made it, dude.
huge.
We were so busy
I
at
had
the
a
booth.
generator. You didn't hear that generator running?
I tried telling him, but I'll be honest. That's why I'm driving the van now. I've got a
Yeah.
generator. I've got all my stuff set up for Night of 1,000 Stars.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I've got my
yeah.
generator, my turbo heaters.
Yeah.
Oh, I literally went home and packed everything up because we had such a big turnout at Pumpkin Festival.
Oh my gosh.
Ladies killed it with that event that
was-
and I'll say that the food court area
Yep.
was the cleanest area. Ben and Jocelyn were like, we thought
Yeah.
the food area would be dirty. I'm
'Cause
like,
we
no,
had
they
two-
take pride in
we
it.
had 2 bags of trash ourselves that we
Yeah,
had to throw
no,
away,
you guys, your
know.
area was spotless.
I didn't make it past. I didn't make it past your tent. I never got a chance to walk. the
No,
whole-
I didn't leave.
whole
I
event.
left mine one time. We had a little boy that Jackson couldn't find him.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the haunted house. He was dying to go in there, and I should have known that's where he went. His mom was a little worried, so Ian from
Oh my gosh, which one? There's 3.
no, the one right,
on Main Street.
yeah, JD's tattoo shop.
Savage Ink.
Savage Ink, yeah.
Savage
Sorry,
Ink,
I'm bad with
baby.
names. Yeah, Ian stopped by from Savage Ink and was trying to go around and help find this kid.
Yeah.
So I went and started walking the street with him, but that's the only time I left the booth. We were so busy.
So yeah, that was a great day.
That's awesome. What type of food are you guys having? Like, what are you doing?
Just the basics, right now, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, chips, soda and water.
Nice.
Nothing crazy, just simple things for
I
for
bet
the
that's
kids.
probably the easiest way to do it.
And it went over really well. We had a joint venture with the Habitat for Humanity. We used their generator to
Sweet.
and we ran it for 5.5 hours. Seems like I'm the only one that can get it started, but that's a different story.
Well, hey, if you ever have an issue though, and you need a generator, I got a brand new one. I bought a really nice one. I only use it for Pumpkin Festival. I
Yeah.
bought it for job sites. In case we needed something, I just got. They weren't that expensive, so I bought a nice one.
Yeah, this one's a huge industrial. Gosh, it'll power your house. I
Yeah,
believe.
that's what
It's
this
just-
one will. I
Dang.
bought one that was big enough
So that
to kill it.
So the Lions Club went over really well. I mean, we're still recruiting, but our mission is still the same as the bigger clubs, serving our community. And with the food trailer, we'll be out and about in more events.
That's awesome.
Like next year, we're already booked
Out in
for
your
the-
lion suit.
Yes. So I do dress, and the kids love it. I love it. You get to interact with them more.
Yeah.
I dress up as a lion, have my Lions T-shirt on, and my little lion David Norman little name tag. But it's a great time. The kids love it. I don't know how many high fives, shakes, pictures, hugs and whatnot. It's a good time, and it's good for us too. I think it's positive feedback. Oh, well, the Lions Club. Oh yeah,
It's mentally good for you too, though, to go out and get in the community like that.
Yeah.
I think in today's day and age, if you just went to work,
Oh my
went home,
gosh.
and lived by what you see on social media,
You're
you would think everybody in the world hated each other.
man.
I mean, literally,
There's a whole world out there.
I cannot wait till the election's over just because I'm so tired. One, my ad spend for me to run ads for the Academy has doubled right now. The other day, to run a 1-week ad for our workshop this weekend, it said for best results, they wanted $1,600. I'm like, for a week?
Gosh.
It's a 12-mile radius. But it's because all the election stuff that's going on. I talked to someone the other day that we think that might be what's running ad spend up. But it's just, if you were to look at social media, you would think everybody hates each other, everybody's a bad human,
And-
all this. And then when you
and
go
they
out in the
don't go out.
community, everybody, there's no problems.
Oh, none. Oh, Saturday was just unbelievable. It was probably the biggest pumpkin festival I've seen in years. I would honestly say that.
Did you see our stuff with Lisa Hollingsworth did the Safe Trunk or Treat?
that
Did you
e-
see
that
my
evening,
numbers
I
on
saw
that?
that. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
They stopped counting at over 650 kids.
Wow.
They had to walk booth to booth, like literally in line almost. And that's not how it was set up. That's just how everybody fell into place. It was ridiculous, the turnout. We
Well,
went through
that's-
300 boards, went through over 2,000 people. We gave out 450 to 500 bags of candy to kids at Pumpkin Festival. We went
Man,
through
that-
everything. That's why I went home. The next morning I got up and I started stocking the van with everything I need for Night of 1,000 Stars, because I'm like, if the weather's mild again, because Night of 1,000 Stars is busy even when it's cold.
Yep, it sure is.
I was like, if it's going to be that busy, because the turnout was huge. Pumpkin Festival is great.
Oh my gosh.
I think a lot of things were really good this year. And the turnout, I knew the weather, because you know how it is with that one. The first year I did it, I stood at my tent in the cold, until the hot cocoa couldn't keep me warm anymore, and there was no one there. And I told my dad, I said, we're out. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Then there was another year after that that was pretty good, but it's always hit or miss.
It sure is.
That's what was hard, too, for me. Like, I wanted to have more people at the booth with me, but you never know. Mm-hmm. So it's rough.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was a good turnout for you guys. So you got the Lions
really
Club.
well.
You've got Habitat for
with the
Humanity,
house build.
Alderman,
Yeah.
Troy Running Club, we Trash Destroyers,
Yep.
the Veterans 5K, because that's your only 5K you do right now,
Yes,
right? Yeah,
yes.
just the Veterans. Okay. And then you're talking, you're tossing an idea around about maybe throwing your hat in for mayor.
Yeah.
And what's that, 2026?
2026. So that's a long ways off.
It is a long ways off, but it just shows like your aspirations to get back to the community and the things you're wanting to do.
And that one fight win I'm still looking for. I mean, with the kickboxing, I love that. I love going to Boyer Academy. I mean, at my age, you don't see a lot of guys my age even thinking about going to class.
With martial arts, people assume it's only for the young guys, and there's so many.
No.
It can be customized to everyone. You don't have to be a super athlete to do this stuff. You don't have to be a 17-year-old kid either.
I enjoy. I feel like the old guy there, but I enjoy watching the younger students, and especially the older ones that have grown.
Yeah,
you know,
it's cool.
The O'Briens and the Kendall and Bella. Oh gosh.
It's funny though. You get it because you've been there, but some of the other parents, like the ones that are new, don't realize like those kids and what they are now is not what they were when they started.
Oh, no.
They were shy, they were quiet, they kept to themselves. Like they were friendly, they weren't, nothing wrong with them, but they weren't the same kids they are now. Like it's what martial arts does for people is amazing.
It does.
And it's great for people like yourself to do it too, because everybody thinks, everybody's like, oh, I'm too old.
No.
And like I had someone the other day, and we had this discussion. They said they were too out of shape. And I'm like, well, it'll get you in shape. Like people are going to look for excuses. It's great to see you not doing it. And I'll tell you, my goal is to be on the mats at 75 years old, like some of the old grandmasters were when I was younger. I'd go to seminars, a 70-year-old grandmaster get out there and just kick my ass. And I was always like, that's going to be me. I'm going to be the one out there that's at 75 that's like, hey, guys, we're going to do this, and I'm going to drop into a kick that everyone's going to go, wow.
I can relate that with the Troy Running Club. When we put the group runs together, I don't know how many people reach out, that want to come, and it's like the hardest part for them is just coming out the door.
Just getting there.
Putting their hand on the door and then coming out and showing up,
Well, I think you'll start seeing Casey more. We talked last night, January, we're going to do 75 hard again, but she wants to get back to running. And I've been on her to run. She's been training with Jess, lots of weights, lots of this and that. And Casey doesn't eat enough calories that when she runs, it eats her muscle too. But running is such a stress reliever for her that I've really been on her to run again. I'm going to push her to come up there and run with you guys because she enjoys the running. For her, it's like it is like Rachel and I talked. It's a stress. For me, it's not fun. I do not enjoy it. I don't feel a stress relief from
I
it.
can do my best thinking running.
And that's with Casey. It clears her head. It makes her feel better. And I've really been pushing her to run again and get up there with you guys.
You sweat the day out, and then you can start fresh tomorrow. That's why I have 38 years running plus.
Yeah.
So it's been.
How can people, as we get to the end here, find you if, say, they want to be a part of the run, if they want to donate and sponsor, if they want to, come out and pick up trash, if they want, if they want to support any of the things that you're doing, is it just best to find you on Facebook?
Probably. That's
Norman?
David Norman, yes, I'm on Facebook.
Do you have an Alderman one too, or is it just your personal one?
Well, it was just a personal one.
Okay.
That one, I did have a reelect, but I don't really keep that up to date.
No, you just use your regular profile.
But I just use
my
regular Facebook page, David Norman, and then underneath my pages I have the Troy Running Club, the Troy Trash Destroyers, and then my metal band is on that also. So I mean that if you want to, and like with the Troy Running Club, under our events section is the Veterans Day 5K. You can still register. There's online registration. You can still donate up to that day. I mean, it goes back into the community. Once all the expenses are paid for, everything goes back to the community.
It's awesome.
That
So-
or I'm out running.
Yeah, you'll see David out with his flag running around town. So if you want to catch up with David and support any of these great events, support some of the things he's
Community.
doing, anything, because it all goes right back to community. Check him out on Facebook from his page. You can find all the other groups or pages. You can message me at the podcast. I can get you in touch. But David, it was awesome having you on today.
Man, thanks for letting me.
Thank
come
you
in.
guys for tuning in, watching, checking this out. And we're going to keep bringing you more great people in Lincoln County.